Well, we all knew it was coming. This sort of thing doesn't start and stop with allegations being made against someone by somebody else. And as expected, now consequences are beginning to happen. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, Russell Brand is now feeling the heat for what's come out over the weekend from these four women who are making allegations against him from the period of time that covers 2006 to 2013. Comedy tour dates are being canceled, book deals are being shelved as more women are coming forward as their recollections are being brought up about comments he's made or actions he is alleged to have taken. What am I talking about? Hang on, folks. We're going to get into all of this in just one second. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative. Step on up to my electronic front porch and let's talk. If you're a person that reads the news on a regular basis, then you know that when the kind of story that came out over the weekend about Russell Brand happened the way it did, and as sensational as it was, that certain things would be set in motion. They usually roll downhill, especially to the disadvantage of the person who is accused of an action. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, over the weekend, the Times of London and the Sunday Times ran a newspaper article in both of their papers, and then an expose was aired on the BBC4 regarding actor, comedian, and now commentator Russell Brand. In that set of stories, it is alleged by four different women who have come forward under the condition of anonymity that between 2006 and 2013, Russell Brand engaged in acts of rape, sexual assault, and very abhorrent behavior. Now, these women have come forward anonymously. They've made claims. The Times of London and the Sunday Times have printed what evidence they believe supports the allegations of these women. Russell Brand, on the other hand, has said all of this is false. He denies it categorically, says all of his relationships were consensual, acknowledges the fact that he did engage in bad behavior over the years, but says that these things are categorically false and that he has evidence to prove it. Okay, yet to be determined in the court of public opinion and yet to be settled in the courts of law, which in the end is where all this is going to wind up anyway. But, as you might expect, a person as high profile as Russell Brand, who has business dealings and engagements that he is involved in, there are now consequences. We will start with comedian Russell Brand's tour are postponed after sexual assault allegations. Article written by Jill Lawless. British police said Monday that they had received a sexual assault allegation after media outlets published claims by several women against Russell Brand. Promoters postponed the remaining dates in a string of live gigs by the comedian who denies the allegations. A talent agency and a publisher also parted company with Brand over the claims, which have left the UK entertainment industry facing questions about whether the comedian's bad behavior went unchallenged because of his fame. Brand, 48, denies the allegations of sexual assault made by four women in a Channel 4 television documentary and the Times and Sunday Times newspapers. The accusers, who have not been named, include one who said she was sexually assaulted during a relationship with him when she was 16. Another woman says Brand raped her in Los Angeles in 2012. London's Metropolitan Police Force said that since the allegations were made public, it had received, quote, a report of a sexual assault which was alleged to have taken place in Soho in central London in 2003. That is 3 years before the earliest of the alleged assaults reported by media outlets. All right, let's get into this. As I said, you're not someone as high profile as Russell Brand who has these kind of accusations made against you and there be no consequence. And as you might expect, people who have business dealings with Brand or they're already lining up certain events for him to be at are backing off. They're waiting to see how all this shakes out, which, by the way, goes to a piece of advice that I gave to you, my viewers, and I also remind myself of. Everybody needs to reserve judgment. Let all the facts come out, and then let's make a determination about what the truth is. We don't have everything yet. We have four women who've come forward to make very highly provocative accusations. Is he guilty of these things? Is he innocent of them? I have no idea. But I will accord Russell Brand the same thing that I would give anyone else. You are innocent until you are proven guilty. These women claim that they have the proof. Bring it forward. Let's see it. You claim you've got proof that says you didn't do it. Bring it forward. Let's see it. To borrow a line from one of my favorite television shows, we'll take everything, burn it in the crucible, and get down to pure truth. Let's find out what really happened. But in the meanwhile, things have been set in motion. Things are starting to happen. To give you a little bit more detail about what's going on, I take you to Variety magazine, or Variety.com, I should say in this case. Headline: Russell Brand's book deal paused following sexual assault allegations. Article by K.J. Yasman. We read the following. Russell Brand's publishing deal with Pan Macmillan imprint Bluebird has been suspended following allegations the star had repeatedly sexually assaulted women. In a statement to the bookseller, a rep for Bluebird said, quote, "These are very serious allegations, and in light of them, Bluebird has taken the decision to pause all future publishing with Russell Brand," end of quote. Under his deal with Pan Macmillan, Brand had published the book Recovery, Freedom from Our Addictions in 2018, with a new version set to be published in May of 2024. Following Bluebird's announcement, the future of the book is now unclear. And this just goes on and on and on. Now, I will say this in the midst of all of it. Regardless of what I think about Russell Brand, is he guilty, is he not guilty? This much I will say. I do feel sorry for him in this respect. Regardless of what I may think about Russell Brand's behavior, whether it was a guy just being over the top ridiculous, whatever, he has admitted that there are addictions that he had in his past. As far as I can tell from everything I'm reading about him for the past 14, 15 years, he's tried to overcome them. Apparently, he's been able to do so. He's now married, he has 2 children, has a third one on the way. Inevitably, people do reap what they sow. Maybe this is the case. Maybe there are legitimate behavior, I should say, legitimate charges that are true, and now justice is happening. Maybe this is an issue that he's being charged unjustly. We don't know yet. But I feel sorry for him and his family in that the man has tried to overcome a lot in his life, apparently had put his house in order, and now this is coming down. Nobody, I don't care if it's Russell Brand or anybody else, deserves to go through this. But it's happening. What are you going to do? Now, these are just some of the ramifications from a business standpoint, but apparently more women are coming forward because they're either remembering things that Brand allegedly said to them or allegedly did to them. Let me take you to an article from the New York Post. Take a look at this. Dannii Minogue blasted Russell Brand as, quote, "a vile predator" in resurfaced 2006 interview. Article written by Sanjana Farberev. Pop star Dannii Minogue angrily labeled Russell Brand, quote, "a vile predator" as far back as 2006, accusing him of creeping her out by perving over her, quote, "fabulous breasts," and refusing to take no for an answer. The Australian singer detailed her alarming experience with Brand from an appearance on his short-lived MTV show One Leicester Square, 17 years before he was accused this weekend of being a serial sex assaulter. Quote, "He is completely crazy and a bit of a vile predator," Minogue, then 34, told the Mirror in a 2006 interview that resurfaced after the latest allegations. I certainly don't think he has cured his sex addiction, that's for sure. He wouldn't take no for an answer. Minogue, the younger sister of Can't Get You Out of My Head hitmaker Kylie Minogue, claimed that Brand followed her down a corridor, pestering her for her phone number, even though he was, quote, just not my type. Throughout the whole interview, he kept making shocking remarks I can't even repeat, she told the UK paper at the time, saying that it included him lecherously commenting on her, quote, fabulous breasts. Just uttering the words would make me blush. And lest you think that this is all of it, there is one more, and these involve a couple of women who definitely would be very familiar with Russell Brand's behavior. Take a look at this. This one comes from the Daily Beast. Katy Perry and Kristen Bell's comments about Russell Brand resurface amid rape allegations. Article written by Helen Holmes. It's only been a couple of days since Russell Brand was accused of multiple instances of rape, sexual assault, and grooming that allegedly occurred during the height of his fame, but already a slew of newly resurfaced comments and stories about the comedian are indicating that people have tried to blow the whistle on him for years. Going a little further into the article, also on Monday, old comments that Kristen Bell made about Brand in 2010 went viral. During the filming of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, in which Brand played a sex-crazed rock star, his co-star Bell made it really clear from the beginning that I would sock Brand in the balls if he tried anything, the actress said in a Daily Mail interview. Quote, he didn't try to mess with me or get in my pants, Bell said at the time. He knew I would lop his nuts off. That's fairly graphic. Old clips of Brand are cropping up that illustrate just how outlandish his behavior could be. In 2013, for example, he bounced actress Katharine McPhee on his lap on The Tonight Show while shouting, "For the Queen!" despite McPhee looking visibly uncomfortable. Going a little further into the article, people are also resurfacing inflammatory comments that pop star Katy Perry, who was married to Brand from 2010 to 2012, made about her ex. She told Vogue in 2013, quote, at first when I met him, he wanted an equal, and I think a lot of times strong men do want an equal, but then they get that equal and they're like, I can't handle the equalness. He didn't like the atmosphere of me being the boss on tour, so that was really hurtful and it was very controlling, which was upsetting. Perry continued. I felt a lot of responsibility for ending it, but then I found out the real truth, which I can't necessarily disclose because I keep it locked in my safe for a rainy day. I let go and I was like, this isn't because of me, this is beyond me, so I have moved on from that. It's not going to stop. In the coming days, there are going to be more comments just like these. There are going to be more stories just like these. More accusations just like these. Until we finally get down to the truth of the matter. For Russell Brand's sake, but more importantly for the sake of his wife and his children, I hope we do find out the truth. But that's what I think about it. What do you think? As we start to wrap up this video, please do me some favors as always. Number one, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please do so. Number two, please leave a comment below. I would really love to know what you think about all of this. Number three, please hit the bell for notifications. I want to make sure you're always aware when new material is coming out. Number four, share the video around. And finally, please give me a thumbs up. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your Front Porch Conservative, and I'll see you next time.